Good morning. Good morning. If there's anyone who would like to join step with the bunny ears for this song, this might be a familiar tune, so here we go.
Come on, kids. I can't be the only one.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, Easter's on its way, bringing every girl and boy baskets full of Easter joy, things to make your Easter bright and gay. You've got jelly beans for Tommy, colored eggs for sisters too. There's an orchid for your mommy and an Easter bonnet too. Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, happy Easter day. Alan's gonna take it away. Here's the dance part. Feel free to trail around if you will. Here we go. You'll wake up on Easter morning and you'll know that he was there. You'll find those chocolate bunnies that he's hiding everywhere. And here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, happy Easter day. One more time. Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, happy Easter day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Linda Kinney. I'm today's worship associate, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Lancaster. Today is Easter Sunday, and in a little while we'll announce the beginning of the Easter egg hunt. And the kids can be decorating their bags at the activity table back there. The Islamic holy month of Ramadan continues, as does the Jewish Passover. This coming week will be Basahi, celebration of the spring harvest of the solar new year for the Dogras, Sikh and Punjabi and Hindus of northern India. And sadly, last Tuesday was the 55th anniversary of the shooting of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Here we come together to nourish his spirit, connect in love, and act for justice. We welcome you this morning, just as you are. Whatever your heritage, whatever your faith, whomever you love, however you identify, today you are part of the spiritual community. And if this is your first time here, may you soon discover this is also your spiritual community. So during our time together, please do what you need to do to feel fully present in this space. Move, sway, walk about, clap your hands. Enjoy the hands-on materials at the activity table in the back. Grab a snack. In a bit, we'll be having an Easter egg hunt, and at the activity table, children may decorate bags for their eggs. And at this time, I want to introduce our board member, Fred Foster Clark, to say a few words.
Welcome on this glorious morning. Let us consider this sacred space we are now on and acknowledge the truth of the land beneath and around us. We are gathered on land once inhabited by people known as the Susquehannock and the Conestoga. We acknowledge the violent legacies of genocide, displacement, and settlement that led to us being here today, and remind ourselves to live humbly in relationship with this land and with all the indigenous peoples still living and loving on this continent. Many indigenous people say, all are relatives. May we live into this truth and aspiration. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our minister, Reverend Patricia Guthman-Paresh.
He's taller than I
everybody. Pesach and happy Easter, and it's incredible. This is a holy time for a lot of people, and it really seems like spring has come. Could be a little warmer, but spring has come. These words I'm going to share with you as we light the chalice, as Linda lights the chalice, I'm really excited about because they're words of the Reverend Dillman Baker Sorrells. And she was a real mentor to me and helped me start seminary. When I came to talk with her, she said, I have a plan. And here I am with you. And here's her words, Dillman's words. For holy days on which we recall the old stories, we lit the flame. For Passover, which reminds us of the courage and strength of those seeking freedom in the past, we lit the flame. For Easter, which reminds us that love is our greatest challenge, we light the flame. For gathering today in this sacred space, we light the flame. For the opportunity to be together as a community, to remember the past, to plan for our future, to be alive in our present. May it be so. And I think some kids are occupied, but I wonder if, because this is kind of for the kids, but it's, I guess, for the kid in all of us. Does anybody really know kind of where bunnies and eggs come from Easter time, or have a guess? Oh, I see a hand back there. Go ahead, shout it out. What do you think?
I think maybe the bunnies lay magic Easter eggs.
Wow, that would be kind of cool. That would be called an Easter miracle. If the bunnies lay the eggs, yeah. What other ideas? Why do you think at this time of year we'd think about bunnies and eggs? What do you think?
New life.
New life. Eggs and bunnies, new life. I want to mention, though, there was a particular, Easter was not the first springtime celebration. For thousands of years before Easter, and also in ancient probably dates back to Neanderthal times, if I really think about it, there were celebrations of spring. And imagine if you've been in the northern hemisphere where it's been cold and dreary, you were running out of food. When spring came around, or signs of spring, signs of new life, signs of more to eat and sun and warmth, it was something to celebrate. And when you realize that maybe this was going to happen every year, you could save up a bunch of stuff to celebrate with once spring came, and you'd bring out the last of your special reserves of food. And in many parts of the world, there was a goddess known as Ostara. She appears as Esther in the Bible is related to Ostara. The word Ostara, star, east, all are related. The sun comes up in the morning in the east, and stars at night are forever light, right? The sun means so much. And so in the spring, it was thought that Ostara was the one that was helping to bring the sun back, and it was a time of new beginning. And guess what was associated with Ostara? Bunnies and eggs. There was a tradition, sometimes when you saw pictures of Ostara, she had a woman's body, but she had a hair, a cousin of a bunny. She had a bunny's head. So she was very much associated with bunnies. Bunnies make a lot of babies, especially in the springtime. And eggs are new life. And there is a tradition that children would bring eggs to Ostara, this gift of spring, and she would have the bunnies return the eggs back to the children. So for thousands of years, we'd have this tradition of eggs and bunnies and new beginnings. There's also lots of songs about bunnies. We sang Here Comes Peter Rabbit. Anytime we sing about bunnies, feel free to hop. There is a rabbit or hares, a long tradition, like if you've ever heard of Briar Rabbit, of rabbits that came with the slaves from Africa. And there's an old African spiritual called Mr. Rabbit. And I'm going to lead you in singing. You don't even need the lyrics. I'll just do this and you can repeat what I just sang to you. And what I love about this song, Mr. Rabbit, is because we want to think about rabbits today and bunnies. But also there's a real Unitarian Universalist theme in that even if you're different, everybody's got a place in the choir, right? And every little soul must shine, must shine. So I'm going to sing out a line and you sing it back. Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Your ears are mighty long. Your ears are mighty long. I'm just going to sing this song. Yes, don't you know they were put on wrong? Every little soul must shine, must shine. 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 Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Your nose always twitches. Your nose always twitches. Don't you know this 'cause they always itches? Don't you know this 'cause they always itches? Every little soul must shine, must shine. 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 Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit. Your ears are awfully thin. Your ears are awfully thin. Don't you know they're just splitting the wind? Don't you know they're just splitting the wind? Every little soul must shine, must shine. 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 Now, do I understand that we think some bunnies have left some gifts from Ostara around this park somewhere? Is that true?
Oh, I think it is.
Is it true? Are we ready to do it?
Yes, so everybody.
Do I do it on the mic?
Hi everybody, I'm Juliana. Everyone can get 3 eggs. I just wanted to note that the eggs have toys in them just because of food allergies, but we have plenty of candy that's over on the table over there, so you're welcome to fill your bag with candy too. So hope you all have a great time collecting those 3 eggs in your fun bags.
If you're little ones. It's for little ones and their helpers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So while they're going off and doing that, this could be a time of quiet for us. How about that? While they're running around, why don't we take this moment to go to that place of quiet, that center our hearts and our breath. We can go to that place. The words I'm going to offer are lyrics in our great hymnal that come from John Holmes. He taught at in the past, the Universalist Tufts University. This is for spring, for Easter, for Passover, for Ramadan, a time of transformation and liberation. We grow with a few unfolding leaves, upward and opening towards the sun that draws whatever green we are, and drives roots opening downward toward the single source. Sun under, sun over earth, one law, one force. Be in your earth, and there be well begun. Climb in the dark. All ground is an open door to the open sky. Break through, reach up to air above, and there green yourself round plants and planets, as roots on deep struck rock are wound, grown tree, boughs big, under leaf, fruit found. At this time of year, let us loosen ourselves from winter's grip, and with the hope of a crocus, break through into the light of spring, with all the possibilities that new life brings. May it be so. I think we each found our 3 eggs, and now are loading up on candy. Thank you, Ostara. At this time, I'm going to invite everybody to actually speak, if you wish, a joy, a sorrow, a complex truth. There's plenty around, I'm sure. What I'm going to ask is if one person, if you wish, want to speak a joy or sorrow or complex truth, and after a person has said that, if we could each say, we hear you. Okay. I'm first going to speak a complex truth. I understand on our congregational Slack, it said it was my birthday today, and it is not. So thank you if you hear you. Anybody want to speak a joy or a sorrow? Any out there? So this is a jam-packed holiday time, right? Easter and Passover, Ramadan. I mean, it's everything. I'm going to share just really quickly a story of Passover and why we think of it, really to lead up to one of my favorite songs, Die, Die, you know. But let's share with it, because I think sometimes we forget what the story of Passover was and all the details. If anyone got to be, some of us got to be part of Gwen's For the Children Seder, and it was a very active, very fast telling of Passover. Mine won't be quite as fun, I guess, but I'm going to tell it to you really quick. As the story goes, the Egyptians had made the people living in their land from Israel slaves and were treating them terribly. And God himself told a man named Moses, who didn't feel quite up for the part, to rescue Moses' people, the Jews, that came to be known as the Jews. from Egypt. Although they were very scared and nervous about it, Moses and his brother Aaron went to the ruler of Egypt. Can you imagine the nerve? Went to the Pharaoh and told him to let their people go. Pharaoh wasn't convinced. So each time Moses and Aaron went to the Pharaoh, Pharaoh said, no. No. Probably more emphatically. But God had given Moses a magic staff. And each time Pharaoh said, no. Moses used the staff to make it harder for the Egyptians. From the magic staff, many plagues were brought down on Egypt. Frogs, locusts, insects, what was it? Was it boils or, can we think of what? There were 10 of them. What? Hail, bad weather, extreme weather, can you imagine? Any other things? And then finally, the worst of all blows was to kill the firstborn sons. Finally, Pharaoh gave in, and he freed the slaves. The Israelites could go home. And they began their journey home quickly because they figured that Pharaoh would not be good with his word, right? And they were right, because the minute they took their journey, Pharaoh sent the soldiers right after them. And along the journey with the magic staff, God helped Moses feed the people and protect them, and even part the Red Sea so the Israelites could pass, but not the Egyptian soldiers. So during the week of Passover, Jews will remember the story and the miracles of Passover, a reminder of their gratitude to God and to be freed, and to remember that that means it's each of our obligation to act towards justice, liberation, and freedom for all. So let's sing the song. And I'm going to tell you that Dayenu means it would have been enough. It would have been enough. You know, if you just had parted the Red Sea, that would have been enough. But you also gave us manna. Now that would have been enough, right? And I'm just going to have us sing the chorus because it's a lot easier than doing the verses in Hebrew. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of the verses in English, and then we're going to sing the song. So Eli, if you could teach us Dayenu, that's the only word you need to know, Dayenu.
It is the only word, and it kind of goes like this. Ready? Dayenu, 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 Dayenu.
Hey, if God had just brought us out of Egypt, Egypt, you will say with me, it would have been enough.
It would have been enough.
Let us sing.
Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Hey! You can do the hey.
Had God helped us 40 years and not brought us manna, it would have been enough. Let us sing.
Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Hey!
Had God given us the Torah and not brought us to the land of Israel, it would have been enough.
Dayenu, 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 Dayenu,
gave us shelter, but not a car. That would have been enough.
Die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, 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 die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, die-enu. Hey!
If the universe gave me meals yesterday but no dessert, it would have been enough.
Die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, 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 die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, die-enu.
Hey! Anyone else got something? Anything else? Anything that would have been enough?
Bunnies and no eggs.
Oh, there you go. If the universe and Ostara had just given us bunnies and no eggs, it would have been enough.
Die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, 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 die-die-enu, 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 die-enu, die-enu. Hey!
But Heather, you know, I'm thinking of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Yay! About Easter. And you got to talk about Jesus, which is a good thing. Israel was under the rule of Rome. And in that land, as the story goes, Jesus, a carpenter's son, by the time he was in his early 30s, and mysteriously single, you know, they're very interesting. So he had become a gifted prophet, teacher, and healer. With a small band of followers, he would travel from place to place, offering hope to people who desperately needed a reason to hope. And I say that because it wouldn't have been traditional. I really think it wasn't meaning. Anyway. And by 30, and he's still a single guy traveling around with these followers, but he's a gifted teacher, a gifted prophet and healer. And he taught that every single person was loved by God. No matter how low or how high your status in the world, how much you were liked, the leper, the poor person, the prostitute, everybody was loved by God, and the lower you were, maybe you should get even more love. And there was a place for everyone in the kingdom of heaven. He reached out to all kinds of people, those hated and ignored by others, poor people, sick people, women without husbands, and even tax collectors. He even had a soft place in his heart, except for there's one little story where he didn't, for tax collectors. It is said that large crowds gathered around to hear Jesus' message of hope, love, and welcome. And for this, he was seen as a troublemaker by the Romans. He was arrested and killed by the Romans as punishment in the most horrible way. And the people and his followers tried to make meaning of his death. And from this, one of the largest and most influential religions that we know developed. So whether it's a story of Ostara and spring, bringing spring to the earth each year, the story of injustice and liberation of Passover, the story of cruelty and transformation in Easter, the Reverend Kathleen McTeague notes, it is reenacted over and over again in our flawed and unjust human world. There are always pharaohs, and there are always people struggling to find the spark of courage and will that will take them to freedom. The Haggadah, the text that's used during the Passover meal to tell the story, is not something fixed and unchanging. There have been thousands of different Haggadahs bringing the Passover story of freedom up to date over and over again. Who are the pharaohs of our day? It doesn't take much imagination. Who is called to rise up and leave behind their slavery? Every year the Passover story is an ancient retelling, and every year it's brand new. But its core is always the same. It's a story about what human beings are capable of bringing forth within themselves. It's about what we can do, how we can transform ourselves and our lives when what we bring forth is vision and courage and will. Jesus isn't really the only one who comes forth from death. Mary Magdalene in the story hears her name called, and suddenly her eyes are opened to a new reality. A whole faith tradition is born. Today, in this bright opening of the earth, in this turning season when new life is pouring out all around us, what will we bring forth within ourselves? I'll never forget, a friend of mine had a small group of us gather, and she gave each of us what looked like just a twig. And she said, I want you to put this in water. And this was about February, March. I want you to put this in water. And I want you to think about what is germinating inside of you. And about the time that you see something come out of this twig, maybe it would have bloomed within you, and you could break for it. And that twig was a branch of forsythia. And about the same time for each of us, this yellow burst out. So let us think, what has been germinating within each of us that might be breaking forth this spring? Have courage, right? We are a troubled tribe, we human beings. The unfolding story of our time on earth is one clouded with pain and cruelty, with missed chances, unthinkable heedlessness and indifference. But we have these stories. We have a bright note of every once in a while decency and kindness and freedom and courage. But the message of our faith is this: we get to have a part in the story and how it unfolds. What we bring forth from within ourselves can change the whole mix if we just vote or raise our voice or help the person next to us or march in protest, write a legislator. Whether we teach or feed or heal or help someone, we also have an impact through the selves we carry into those actions. Who we are matters just as much as what we do. Who we are, what we let ourselves bring forth, like the forsythia each spring. What power, what vision, what courage do we want to bring forth? What compassion, what generosity, what insight and wisdom do we want to bring forth? So let us sing, and the words are in your order of service if you got one, and if not, you can grab another person and look with them. Lo, the earth awakes again.
Oh, the earth awakes again, alleluia, from the winter's bond and pain, alleluia, bring relief and flower and spray, alleluia.
plate and accept your offerings. You may also go to our website to make a donation online. A portion of the offering will be shared this month with the Lancaster Cleft Palate Clinic. Established in 1938, it is the oldest clinic in the world devoted to the comprehensive care of children born with cleft lips and palates and other craniofacial abnormalities, regardless of the ability to pay. The plates may now be passed. And while they're passing the plates, I just have a few announcements. So do look to our weekly email newsletter, The Love Letter, for weekly need-to-knows and events at UUCL, as well as our Facebook page and website calendar. To sign up for the newsletter, you can contact our office. Next Sunday, we will be back in the building for Earth Day. Reverend Pat and David Dobbins. David, raise your hand so people know where you are. Okay. Are looking for folks who would like to take a part in our Earth Day Readers Theater style no rehearsal play. So do let Reverend Pat and David know if you're interested in a part. Spring movie night is Friday, so do RSVP. The link is in this past week's love letter. So we gratefully received these generous gifts of your offerings, freely given, and dedicate them to the work and aspirations of this congregation.
I do love the subject of the play that we will do next week. Mother Earth is mad and she's suing all the people. So come see how it plays out. And you are the people, so you get to decide if the people of the earth are guilty or not. And there will be a different judgment depending on your vote. So if you want a voice, come next week. These words are adapted from Wendell Berry's manifesto, the Mad Farmer Liberation Front, as we extinguish the chalice. So friends, every day do something. Do something that won't compute. Love the Lord, love the world, work for nothing. Take all that you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. Ask the questions that have no answers. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant, that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. They even said it on public radio today. So laugh. Laugh is immeasurable. Be joyful though you have considered all the facts. I'm going to say that again. Be joyful though you have considered all the facts. Go with your love to the fields. Swear allegiance to what is nearest your thoughts and heart. And practice resurrection. Happy spring. Happy Easter, happy Passover, happy Ramadan. Go in love, go in peace, go in joy. May it be so. And let us end with singing.
So, we're going to do this 2 times through. If you know it, great. We're going to need you the second time through, so it might be a little fast. Here we go. Ready? Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila Benismeha. Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila Benismeha. Hava Narenana, Hava Narenana, Hava Narenana. Ura